Please welcome to the stage our social media experts, Holly Tinella, Ashley Bernardi, Jamisa Buchanan, and Miracle Workman.
Hi everyone, I am Holly Tinella. I am the CEO of Boho Alternative Med Spa and a licensed esthetician. Today I'm leading this social media panel with these lovely experts up here, and I feel so blessed to be on the stage right now. We today are going to be talking about social media. We know that it can be really overwhelming and a little daunting, but after today, we really hope to excite you and make you more motivated to get more social by the end of this talk. So I'm going to go ahead and start with introducing our panelists. We have Ashley.
Hi, I'm Ashley Bernardi. I am a licensed esthetician. I've been an esthetician for 2 years. I have been a Hydrafacialist for 2 years, and I just completed my Hydrafacial Connect Masters program 2 months ago. So I'm now a Hydrafacial Connect Master.
I love that. Jamisa?
Hi, I'm Jamisa Buchanan, a licensed esthetician for 12 years. I am an owner of my med spa. I've been open for 7 months as of today. I've been working with Hydrafacial about 2.5 years.
Miss Miracle?
Hi, my name is Miracle Workman. I'm also Miracle the SD on Instagram and TikTok. I've been a licensed esthetician for 6 years now and a hydrofacialist for 3. And I came out of the shutdowns for my state last year in Alaska in May and started my business. So I'm coming up on 1 year as a solo esthetician.
Awesome. And I'm Holly Tinella. Like I said, I'm an esthetician. I own Boho Med Spa. My handle is at Boho Med Spa. I'm also a mother of 5, and I have 15 staff members, so I have a lot of spa children as well. So we're going to go ahead and get started into the most asked question that we got. What Hydrafacial did is they did a questionnaire of questions that you guys wanted to know about. And so the most popular question was, how do I find time to make content? And also, how do I grow it to where it's a strong social media page? And I would love, Ashley, if you can go ahead and answer this question, because you were so good at making content.
So just like Holly, I am also a mom, but of 2, and so I do have to carve out time in my day and my weeks, my months to have my content. So what I do, first thing is I do have notes in my little note section on my phone that has ideas, creative ideas, treatment ideas, whatever I'm thinking of posting. And then once I have enough downtime, whether it be a cancellation, a no-show, maybe the weekend I have free time, I will batch a lot of content. So what that means is I will take photos of products, take photos of myself, have just a lot of content ready for that when I am going to post, I have that prepared for myself. So I like to prepare a little with the 2 kids and the busy life and have a lot of content ready to go.
Yeah, I love that. One of the things that you mentioned was whenever you have a cancellation,
Yes.
that's when you're making your content. I always share with my staff, they're like, I don't have time. I was like, well, you have to make time. Just kind of like we make time to work out. We make time to make dinner for our family. We have to make time for social media as well. And one of the great ways to integrate it into your schedule is if you get a cancellation or you have a lunch break, maybe take a longer lunch break. I tell my staff, hey, if someone canceled on you, this is the universe telling you to make social media content. Let's talk about vitamin C. Let's talk about acne and ways to correct it. So this is a great opportunity to do social, which is going to help your business. Now, content making can be a little daunting, and so today we're going to share what our favorite tools are to make content. Ashley, can I have you go ahead and answer first?
Yeah, so a couple of things with tools and content. So I'll just give like some basics. So I use a ring light from Amazon, and I use my iPhone. I have never had like a professional social media person to help me or professional photographer take really nice photos or anything. I just use the tools that I have had. And then once I create my photos, I use an app called Preview. And this app allows me to, hence the name, preview all of my content before I post it, so I can have more of a cohesive look to my feed, as well as kind of see if it goes with something I just posted a few days ago. So yeah, those are like the basic tools that I use.
I love that. Jamisa, what are the tools that you use?
I like to use, obviously, my iPhone. I use my staff, my assistant, she helps record me. And also, I like to use an app called Overlay. I love this app for a number of reasons because you can control what you post. You can add your watermark to the post. You can also put text on your videos and on your pictures. It's just a great, useful app to keep you organized.
I love that. Miracle?
So I'm a solo esthetician, so I don't have a whole lot of help in the treatment room with like filming like an assistant. And I have a glam core. I'm sure a lot of you know what a glam core is. You don't need like a fancy light like that. You can get like a ring light from Amazon, something affordable. But glam core is awesome because it helps you just set the lights where you need it, put your phone where you need it. And that way I'm just a one-woman show and I can get my content and set up the camera, which just my phone too. I don't think you need a fancy camera or anything. And just set it up where you need it so you can kind of get the content you need, the videos you need. And then my favorite apps, I'm a video girl for sure, I'm a TikTok girl for sure. So I really love InShot for video editing. I think InShot's one of the most user-friendly, so versatile. You can do so many things on InShot. And then two other apps I love are Canva for educational content and graphics. And what did I have? Lightroom. Lightroom, just to help me if I want to put some presets on my photos, just to help keep a cohesive feed, like Ashley said. So your Instagram presence just looks a little smooth and put together.
Mm-hmm. I love what you said about Glamcore because that is what I use for my photos. Yeah. But if you don't have an assistant, the arm bends all the way down, so where you can go over your treatment room and really kind of feel if you're doing like extraction videos or you're doing your Hydrafacial and you want to show your client the experience, that bendy arm that can go over is vital in the treatment room when you're trying to capture content. Something that I really love if you want to make your stories more high level, but you don't have the budget to afford a graphic design artist, you can go to InStories. And this is probably like $40 for the whole year, well worth it. It just makes everything look really clean, crisp, but also engaging. And I am actually technology special. I don't know how to say it, but it's hard for me to like grasp how to do social media at times, especially on the graphic side. So if I can figure out InStories, y'all can figure it out too. So.
Awesome.
Okay. Now that we've talked about tools, we're gonna talk about content. So many of you guys, I want to first start off with, before we share this, everybody's feed is different of what content works best for them. So what works well for me may not work well with just with Miracle. So you have to figure out what is your target audience and make content that is around them. Sometimes it is a trial and error of figuring out what content best serves your followers. So trial and error, but don't give up. So that being said, what is your guys' content that has worked best for your pages? Ashley.
Yeah, so the content that has worked best for me 100% is showcasing my Hydrafacial treatment. So something that I did learn actually at the Hydrafacial Connect Masters program was from a speaker that talked about the power of 3. So I've really focused on the 3 most popular treatments that I have to offer because it seems like that's what people are interested in, so popular. So I've really focused on the 3 most popular treatments, number 1 being Hydrafacial, dermaplaning, and then chemical peels. So the before and afters are really huge on my page, as well as just creative content with myself and like a Hydrafacial, like showing that that's what I do, and that's the result is like a before and after.
I love that. Miracle?
Kind of like she said, I love the power of 3. That's very helpful. But I think, yeah, in general, just finding kind of your niche and what you're going to be posting about. You really shouldn't be all over the board. You should have your things that you're known for, and that's going to help you grow that organic, authentic kind of following. For me, one of my favorite things is just utilizing stories too. I love to show behind the scenes, before and afters, kind of things that I'm doing throughout the day and in the treatment room. Yeah, I love posting my Hydrafacial videos. They do really well. I think Hydrafacial before and afters do really well. So just getting to kind of show people what my job is, what I do in the treatment room, what I'm doing on clients, kind of entice people to come in and get that skin for themselves. And yeah, stories is a great way just to kind of showcase things on a little more personal level and, you know, not as like put together and professional as like your Instagram feed can be. So I love stories.
Right, love that. Jamisa?
I like to use my social media as an educational tool. Treat it as your classroom. Teach your audience, you know, it builds confidence in your work. They can see what you do. Just use it as your classroom. And that's how I get my content. Just, I want to know what's going on in the treatment room. I know you guys want to know, and your audience. So just showing and showcasing your work is important.
That's so good and so important too.
Yes.
It's also how you gain like trust from your clients and from your
Exactly.
followers too. Just showing that you know your stuff and
Yeah.
that you're not afraid to kind of share your knowledge and get people to come in and see you. And yeah.
I think that's so good. People want to see experts in our field. Whenever they're looking for someone to treat their acne, they're going to find an acne expert. So if you're educating on acne and they're seeing you, they're like, oh my gosh, she's so cute and relatable, and I want to go see her because she's knowledgeable. I always tell my staff that clients are looking for an educated, confident best friend. And that's what's really helped my social media page grow as well. It did take me 2.5 years before my page actually really started to take off. So I did a lot of trial and error, but again, I didn't give up, and I finally found what my niche was. But I found it during COVID. There was a lot of things that were really hard during COVID, but there was silver linings out of COVID. I finally figured out Instagram. I would always give treatment videos on my Instagram of just showing like Hydrafacial or dermaplaning, but I was missing a couple elements to my page which made me relatable. So during COVID, I was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to be able to film? How am I going to still stay active and engaging with my consumers and followers? And I started showing myself, my family, and my knowledge because that's all I had to share. So when I started to become more relatable to my audience, that's when I really started to take off. Because what I had found is that people do not connect with brands. Typically, unless they're like Hydrafacial and super awesome, typically they connect with people. People connect well with people, so we have to really lean on that. So when you're going in through your page, making sure that you're showing yourself on your page. It's not just services. Showing your family, be relatable to people, and showing your knowledge, because that is so important. Like I said, people, like Jamisa said, people want to see experts. So she's utilizing her platform as an educational platform, and it will grow your business. From social media, last year this time, I had 4 staff members. I now have 9 estheticians. So I went from 4 esties to 9, which is crazy town. I never would have thought that, but because I was constantly educating on my feed, when we were back in business after the restrictions of COVID lifted, we were booming, and we have not slowed down on that. And I really do attribute a lot of it to social media.
And Hydrafacial.
Yes, and Hydrafacial.
Like my business alone, I feel like Hydrafacial is my #1 service. I think it's like 90% of what I do. And I just got my machine back in October, which is just nuts. So I feel like just to have grown it that much. I had worked with Hydrafacial previously, so I had some of the clients for it. And yeah, it's completely changed my business and showcasing it on Instagram too.
Absolutely.
Totally. It's definitely the best service to showcase, because
Yes.
who doesn't love the gunk bucket? Everyone wants to see it. It's disturbingly amazing. So I wanted to, for those of you guys who may not know who this fabulous lady over here is, she sees the Atlanta Housewives. So she's pretty big, y'all. She sees a lot of celebrity influencers, which I would like to know, how has that affected your business? And how do you even find celebrities like that?
So as far as finding a celebrity, I start off with micro-influencers. So micro-influencers are just local influencers. most of the time they're going to reach out to you because, for example, Hydrafacial is known. So most people Google Hydrafacial, so you get your local celebrities to come in, they treat it. And you want to make sure when you post them, they also post you. And you want them to post on their page. So you need to come up with some type of agreement or an arrangement where they keep their post up so people can view that. And also have them tag the city, for example, Atlanta, hashtag Atlanta, or hashtag Atlanta skincare. Or, you know, you want to make sure they're showcasing that and showcasing your work. And you want to obviously keep using that. And as far as getting your bigger celebrities, they look on Instagram. They look like we look on Instagram and social media for services. So they'll stumble upon your page, and they most of the time will reach out to you. You just have to stand out and show your work, because they're just looking for a provider. They know what they want. The celebrities know. They're just looking for people to treat them.
I feel like hashtags are probably underrated too.
Yeah.
I agree.
Utilizing all of Hydrafacial's hashtags, like Hydrafacialist, Hydrafacial Nation, and then where you are, like she said, Atlanta Hydrafacialist or Atlanta Esthetician, and yeah.
That's so good. So not many of us have access to celebrities, but what we do have access to is micro-influencers. And this is something that I utilize a lot in my business. So what a micro-influencer is anyone who has under typically 50K followers. This is going to, they're also more locally known, which means they have local influence. This is really what you want in bringing consumers through your door, is looking for influencers like this. But a couple tips I have in finding the right influencer for you is, one, make sure that they are your niche. Make sure that they're not like a cooking influencer. We want someone who's a beauty expert. So someone who is a hairstylist or a makeup artist or just is a beauty blogger in general. It could be fitness. Anything like beauty related is what you want to look for. That way when they post about you, majority of their followers love beauty stuff and they're like, oh my gosh, this girl goes here and she knows so much about beauty, so if she goes here, I want to go here too. So that's one way. Also, make sure that your influencers have high engagement. So what that means is you go into the photo and you look at all the comments. And are the comments not just like advertising comments like, hey girl, partner with us because you look awesome, but they're more like, hey, oh my gosh, I love sharing, thank you so much for sharing this beauty lipstick, or something like that, that it's an engaging comments. Also, go into their likes, because I know myself, and I know these ladies as well, we were talking about earlier, we have been scammed. Because influencers will reach out to you and say, hey, can I come in for a Hydrafacial? I will, what's trade services, and I'll post about you. There's been a couple times I'm like, oh yeah, sure, come in, I'd love to work with you. And then they post, and I get not one single follower, I get nothing. And then now that I'm more seasoned in social media, now I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't know all this stuff. I should have went into their likes, see who was liking it. Was it actual real followers? Were there robots? And typically, if you see a lot of different foreign countries and not from their, let's say if they're from America and then there's only like one other country that's not your country commenting. That's typically for some reason robots. So making sure that it's local, engaging followers and real followers, because no one wants to get scammed. That's not fun.
Yeah.
The number of followers does not always mean anything.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've
'Cause you
definitely
can-
been scammed like that as well. And you just have to
Yes.
do your homework, really research that influencer. But I think it's a huge benefit to use micro-influencers, especially when you're just starting out, because I definitely did the same thing too, starting out, just free treatments for trade. So,
And that's how you get big in your local community, is when all these local influencers are coming to you. So not only are you going to be recognized in your area as the place to go for beauty, but you're also going to have people come through your door from it.
I know I'm from Wasilla, Alaska, and I know probably not all of you are from like big name places. We don't have anyone for like vloggers or influencers or celebrities in Wasilla, Alaska. But that doesn't mean there's not people in your community that have like really good influence in your community. So you can just kind of reach out to people who you see have that following of your target audience. So yeah, just because you're not from somewhere that's big doesn't mean you can't reach out to people that have influence in your community.
So we may not view ourselves like this, but we are all social media influencers. We're like micro-influencers, except we're for beauty. So making sure that you're educating on your feed when people are looking for places to go. Again, they want to go to experts. But how do you ladies share your content? Unlike your, like how have you built your social media page through education?
I started my Instagram, specifically social media, when I was actually in esthetician school. So like I said, I've only been licensed for 2 years. I started when I was in school. I was just kind of winging it, just posting what I thought was cute or interesting or fun, whatever. And I treated it more of like an interactive like business card, if you will, so that someone who was interested in what I do, I could just divert them over to my Instagram account and they could see what I do, the things I offer. And then it started to get a little bit more strategic in the past year, I would say, due to the pandemic and just kind of sitting on my phone and trying to figure all this out. So a lot more strategy has gone into it. I've seen a lot more insight into what works and what doesn't work, so trial and error. Do pictures of myself work better versus before and afters? Do pictures of products? So it's definitely something you just have to experiment with, but try different things out.
So good. Jamisa?
So like she said, it was trial and error at first. So if you go down at the beginning of my posting, at the beginning of my social media, you notice there's a lot of still photos. It really didn't make sense. And now I've grown, and I have more views, more followers. I do a lot of hashtags, and it works for me. It definitely works.
Miracle?
For me, it was just starting to show up more as myself versus just kind of being, like, for lack of better words, like a stale Instagram page. Just kind of being more relatable, showing myself, and also video content, I feel like, has really helped me. But yeah, showing myself on stories. Just a little over a year ago, I only had under 2,000 followers on Instagram. And it's not a huge jump, but in 1 year, I went from 2,000 to almost 9,000 followers. And just to see that growth, when I had my Instagram for I think 2 years before that, and to only grow, so much, and then to have such a bigger jump when I started showing my face, showing up and kind of just sharing more like educational tips and sharing more of what I know, even relating more to other hydrofacialists or other estheticians and just kind of showing my tips and tricks for them. People will just respect you more, they'll like you for it, they'll learn more. So just sharing knowledge and using it as what it is, a social platform.
So good.
Yeah.
So what I have personally found with my page is the more valuable I am to my follower, as far as like, am I educating them? Are they walking away with more knowledge from my page? When I started to do that regularly, that's when I really started to explode. But where I shine the most is in stories. So I will do a whole educational story set. Through stories, it takes me about an hour to do, which is a lot. It's only because I'm filming only 4 stories at a time, because that's how much it'll let you film, and then I will stop, and I will overlay all the text of what I'm saying, because I do text, and I spend time, and this is what takes me the longest, because so many people don't want to listen to their Instagram. They want to just watch it as they're at work, or they're bored at a dinner table. They want to be discreet, right? So I put in that text lay so they don't have to worry about listening to the audio, and I'm making sure that I'm getting my point across to the viewer. So when I started sharing that, and then again personal, and then another thing that I do is I make sure that my stories are always going. It is a task. I feel like a helicopter mom, except with social media. I'm always like, wait, let's do that again. That was a great shot. And so I'm always filming, and I feel crazy sometimes, but hey, it's what works, and that's what people want, is to see stories all the time going, sharing your personal life, sharing your treatment room, sharing your knowledge base as well. And so when I started to do that, that's when I really started to grow. But one other trick, do not let your stories go under, always have something going. Never stop it, and the more that you have stories going, the more that Instagram will recognize that, hey, she's interactive and she keeps on going, so they're going to put your story bubble up higher than all the other people in the story bubble line up. I don't know. I'm hoping you guys understand what I'm saying.
That's a great tip.
Okay, good. So you can't let it fall. So I always feel like I'm on edge. I'm like, oh my God, I gotta post. I gotta find something. I'm like, what can I do? Let me look for a cute picture of myself or something. But I don't let it go under 24 hours of my stories.
Wow.
I know on like Sundays for me is like my kind of dead day, and I'll get down to like one story left, and I'm like, oh, I have to post something. Because I know like if I go to someone's page and I'm looking for other estheticians or anyone to follow of of any kind of person, if I go to their page and their last post was a month ago and they have no current stories, I'm like, well, they're not really active. Are they worth following? So yeah, just making sure that you show that you have a presence on social media, that it is consistent, no matter what. Consistency can look different for all of us. It could be like 100 times a day, or it can be like I show up at least 3 times every single week, but hey, I'm there and I'm consistent. You can expect something from me 3 times a week, every single week, or I know that Holly will always have a story going and I can go watch her and listen to her. So yeah, or if I'm in the checkout line at the store, when you said like you don't always have the sound on your story, so you want something to kind of read if you can't turn the volume on. That's me at the grocery store. Like if I'm in the checkout line, I'm like, oh, I can't turn the volume on, but I want to see what she's saying. So
Yeah.
I love that. So you are a TikTok master. I don't think many of us realized how TikTok was going to just take off during COVID, but it was a thing before COVID, but it really started to boom during COVID. And it is definitely a social media platform that is on the rise. I've heard so many people say that it's actually the new Instagram because it is easier to get on the, what is it called? The page that goes viral.
for
Easier.
you page,
What is it, For You page?
right?
Yeah.
Okay. So getting on that feed, the discovery page that's going to go viral, it's so much easier to get on it because there's not as many content creators yet on it. So as soon as you get on TikTok, the better. So I'm going to let this lady take it away on all the TikTok ins and outs because she has built quite the following on TikTok.
Are any of you guys on TikTok? I don't even know.
Yeah.
I have.
Did you start one?
Yep.
Okay.
I did what you
I have like
started
5
to do.
posts maybe.
Okay. So I started TikTok in 2019 in December, so just before the pandemic hit, and I feel like it wasn't a big thing yet. I got on because my friend was like, can you please go on and like my videos and see my videos? And then I was like, this is dumb. I could be like posting my videos too, so I'll just make an account. I could never do it for like personal stuff like dancing or anything like that, but I was like, I have a lot of treatment room videos and just fun like brow waxes, Hydrafacial clips, jelly mask clips, whatever you're doing. And it's really easy to just, if you're creating that content anyway for Instagram, especially now with Reels that we should be utilizing, you can also throw that stuff on TikTok. And the cool thing about TikTok and what happened for me is I don't really know the set algorithm, but the algorithm is in everybody's favor. So anybody in this room has a chance to post a video right this second and it can go viral. It doesn't matter how many followers you have, your likes, anything like that. So the favor's for everyone. And that is exactly what happened to me. I posted a few videos back to back, and I remember I went into the movies with my friends, and I came out and I checked my phone and my video had gone viral. It's one of the coolest moments of my life. It was just like an extraction video, something very like satisfying and eye-catching. I think I hashtagged for it, just a few hashtags, something relevant like extraction, esthetician. And yeah, from there I just started posting videos. I now have 560,000 followers, which is insane. It's 500,000 people. Some of it has equated to Instagram. I feel like my authentic audience and my clientele, my followers, other estheticians, my friends are really on Instagram, but I've actually made a few like real life friends now from TikTok. They found me on TikTok, equated to Instagram, and now we're friends, and it's very cool. So I think there's just no harm in getting on TikTok. I think the favor's for everyone. If you're already creating content, just utilize that as well. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so good. I'm like trying to mentally take all these notes.
Yeah.
Okay, so good.
Oh, I think, I guess so my key points for TikTok are post consistently and try to think of our attention spans nowadays, or at least for whatever generation is on TikTok, which I think it is all generations now, but our attention spans are just going down and down and down. So people, TikTok's doing so well because it's only 15, 30 second, 45 second, up to a minute long video. It's not like YouTube where you have to tune in for 15, 30-minute videos. You're tuning in for just very short form video content. So think about when you're posting a video on TikTok, is there any dead space on this that someone isn't captivated the whole time and they'll just swipe through? Also the quality, if you're using a good ring light and a nice iPhone, you're set. So.
Oh, I love that. That's so good. So this would not be a Hydrafacial Hydrafacial event if we didn't talk about Hydrafacial and how much we love doing this service. So Ashley over here gets posted a lot on social media on Hydrafacial's account. I don't know if you guys have seen her around. She's pretty cute, but she gets posted a lot. And I would love you to share, how do you create the content that Hydrafacial loves so much so other people can get posted too?
So that's a great question because, yes, there are a lot of posts that Hydrafacial shares on their feed. So I would say a couple things, just like 3 basic things. So keep it super simple. So whether it's a photo or a video, reel, whatever it is, just keep it super simple. You don't need to do a lot of talking. And I don't know if you saw the reel that I did recently. It was just like, this is what Hydrafacial is, the exfoliation, extractions, So just keep it really simple. My other thing is think about the brand that you are trying to represent, which for me, it is Hydrafacial. Like I said, it's one of the top most popular treatments that I do. And so I think about their brand, I think about the black and the white. I have a lot of black and white going on my feed. So I really try to think of it in that perspective. Another thing too, I want to mention the before and afters for sure. Why should Hydrafacial repost your photos or videos? Because you want to show why should you get it. So before and afters are a great reason why to show you should get a Hydrafacial. This is what it looked like before. This is how clean the pores are after. So I would definitely look into those top 3 things.
So good. So we all love treating with Hydrafacial, but we also love treating with combination therapies like dermaplaning and LED light. Jamisa, how do you highlight all of your treatment menu with Hydrafacial on your social media feed?
So if I have a client, I will post three videos back to back. It'll be the first part of the video, which is probably cleanse dermaplaning, and then the second video will be highlighting all of Hydrafacial, and the last video will be the LED light. So it showcases 3 services, but it's one treatment for one client. So
Using the same content in 3 posts. Yeah.
in 3 posts, yeah.
That makes sense.
That is so good. You're working way smarter and not harder. Using that whole facial and taking different snippets out of that facial is so awesome.
Yes.
So awesome.
Very smart.
So Miracle, I know that you are an esthetician like all of us, and you love to educate, and you do it really, really well. How are you showcasing your education through social media?
Yeah, so I think a lot of estheticians, if you'll kind of do some searching, do a lot of those graphics that we'll see. Mm-hmm. You can make really easy content type graphics that you can just get your point across in words and cute little icons and pictures just through Canva. So I subscribe, I think it's subscribed to Canva Pro. I think it's like $12 a month, which, all those little apps can add up. But I really pick and choose what I'm using and what's worth it, and I think Canva's really worth it. I really like to educate because, again, I think it's really important for your clients. They'll really trust you more. They'll know that you know what you're talking about. And graphics are just an easy way to kind of get a point across, like talking about double cleansing or talking about the importance of wearing SPF. And then secondly, reels. I think reels are a good way to show education, just to kind of get your personality across a little bit more. Reels like TikTok are kind of similar. I think the world is going more video content. It's more captivating, more satisfying, more intriguing. So yeah, I think reels for educational content and graphics, just using your captions too, and yeah.
That's awesome. So one platform that I like to use to educate my followers is doing Instagram Lives, which
You're the live queen.
I love doing it. It's so much fun. It's like, to me, an interactive podcast that is educational, but then consumers and clients and my fellow estheticians get to join in and learn with me and get to know me more. And so that and what I have to say, so I get and educate them specifically on what they're wanting right then and there versus trying to find their answers all over social for them, so I can better connect with my audience as well. But I do a thing now, it's called SD Talks, and it's where I will do an educational piece with another esthetician that I feel like has a lot of awesome things to bring to our estheticians. I created SD Talks as a way to elevate my fellow estheticians. I know that sometimes it's really hard finding a good education. That's one reason why I am so obsessed that Hydrafacial came out with the Connect course, because that is like all the industry leaders coming together and teaching all on one platform. And I just have such a heart for that, and I just love that I get to pair up with Hydrafacial and that they're on that journey and mission with me as well. But SD Talks mimics that as well, to where I'm reaching out to industry leaders, or Miss Ashley, who's became my SD bestie over social media. I've reached out to her and we've done a couple lives, and Jamisa, and I get to share with my estheticians, how are we improving our treatment room? Let's talk about pigmentation or acne and diving deeper, and so we can elevate and come together as a whole and elevate our industry.
Well, it was really cool too when we did the first 2 lives together, right? The first 2 or something?
Yep.
It's cool because she's from Texas, I'm from California, and we were talking about pigmentation, I'm pretty sure, and just different modalities that can be used where you are versus where I am, but then how we approach those types of treatments to our patients and or clients, and it's really actually a great idea to have this, talk and be different states, different areas, different modalities, all those things, very educational. So I love doing it.
Thank you, that means so much to me, and I loved having you. We
Yeah,
need to do it again. And Miss Miracle, I gotta do one with
I
you.
know,
too.
you're next.
Well, and I feel like that's just something that her followers have now known her for, is just, again, she's being consistent and she's showing something that's different. So, she's known for her, was it weekly that you do them?
Sometimes weekly, but
That's a lot.
typically twice a month.
Okay, that's a little better. I'm with 5 kids, how do you do that? I could not do
We
that
did
and I
it.
don't have any kids.
My husband, he's awesome. He
You're
helps
running
me out
around.
so much. I couldn't do what I do without him.
So yeah, so your followers have come to known you for your SD Talks, and that's very cool.
I think you're bringing up a really great point, because you said it a little bit earlier, is finding your niche, that when people go to your feed, they know what to expect. Can you elaborate a little bit more on why you feel like that is so important, and how do you use that too?
I think part of it is I think all of our goals is just to kind of fill our books, make that money, get people in the door, and do our passion, work on skin. And I think getting those followers or those clients who have never seen you just to like you, know you, trust you, you're not just going to walk in a door and be or it's just more you want to know who you're seeing. So if I went to go see Holly, I would know exactly what to expect because I follow her on Instagram, and I'd be wow, you come across so authentic and you're real and you're the same person, and I feel I already know you. And I feel a lot of my first-time clients come in and they're already so comfortable with me because they feel they know me and they know what to expect, and there's just that cohesive consistency.
I love that so much. That's so good. I've gotten so many people through my door that we're best friends, but you don't even know it. I'm awesome. Let's do some skin. So it is a really great warm lead to get someone through your door, is if they feel they know you.
Yeah.
So I love that you said that. Speaking of client expectations, before and after photos is something that is so important for us to nail, because this builds your portfolio on Instagram. It also gives the client realistic expectations of the treatment and what their results will end up looking like. So I would like to share with you some tips on how I get my before and after photos. The first one is I put them in front of a white backdrop. The next one is lighting. Lighting is everything, y'all. And so I have 2 little, they're mini little ring lights that I set on either side of the client and front of them. So they're standing right here, and then the 2 lights are right in front of them. And I have a piece of tape on my floor that they're gonna stand every time. And then I also have taped where my lights go. That way if they get bumped, we can move them back in the same position. And then I also keep my lighting setting on the same, and I never move it. It's always the same. That way, a lot of before and after pictures, you notice one's darker lighting and the one's lighter lighting, and it's oh my gosh, I got results, but it's hard to see the exact comparison. So making sure that you have consistent same lighting and same positioning is really important. So I will get them to do a front angle, and then I will let them turn, and I have like these little rocks on my wall that like I put on a string, and I measured it. That way we can tell the client, hey, like, because we don't want them we don't want them too up, or we don't want them too down. We want them right parallel, but everyone's a different height. So I measure out the rock settings or whatever, like rock, what is it called? Like inches. So I know like, oh, we can say, hey, the client was looking at the red rock. So then when we look again, we can look back in their notes and say, hey, red rock, so we'll just tell them instantly. Yeah. It's taken me a long time to figure this out, y'all, so you're welcome.
So smart.
It might sound like silly or overwhelming too, but those little like tips for being consistent go a long way, and they really help people that when they come to your page, like you'll probably scroll through and see your before and afters, and they all look consistent, and that just sets you apart from others. It makes you look put together, professional.
Very professional.
I mean, pictures too, where like the eyes are closed in one picture and the after the eyes are open. Like, you want the client to also be consistent, but yeah, I agree with the lighting and everything.
Yes, and talking about like the eyes, you want to make sure. I always tell my clients, I'm like, hey, let's line up. We're taking a mug shot and no smiling. And they're like, okay, and it's like so hard to get them not to smile. But I want that. That way, they're making the same facial expression every time. They're not like one photo like. And like all these different faces. You're like, oh, this is not good. So before and after pictures are really key. But you use a different system for taking before and after pictures. And I've been very tempted as well to get one of these.
The Visia machine. So it is probably because I work in a med spa or plastic surgeon's office. We do use the Visia camera. It is amazing though. It's not your iPhone. It's not, simple. But if you were to take something a little bit more clinical, so talking about pigmentation, maybe using multiple modalities, like a treatment plan. We're going to do Hydrafacial, microneedling, and some lasers. We'll want to have a photo like that, and it kind of mimics exactly what you use with your system. Right. It's very like, the machine is perfectly angled, so that makes a huge difference.
I really love that machine though takes out user error. Like it's like you don't have to worry about they were doing all this or whatever. It keeps it right on.
Exactly.
What is that called again?
Visia.
Visia.
Okay, cool.
It's a great one.
Yeah. Isn't that like a woods lamp as well? Right?
Like so there's different like filters built in so that you can see different layers of the skin, different, UV damage, brown spots. Like a woods lamp. I forget what it's called, but
I love that.
Lots of different filters.
Very
yeah.
And I will say, going back to like how I take my photos, I forgot to tell you guys, I just use my phone. And just make sure that you invest though in like a good phone. You don't need to have like some really souped up camera. You just need a really great, like the latest iPhones are incredible, y'all. I do have a social media person that helps me with my content as far as like graphic design stuff goes. And so I remember one day she came in and we were doing some content pieces together. And I was like, well, aren't you, because we were doing a photo shoot. I was like, where's your camera? Come on, girl. I'm like, I want the good stuff. And she's like, all I need is right here. And she was on her phone. I was like, really? She goes, oh yeah, this thing takes way better photos than a lot of cameras out there on the market. So if you're looking to invest in something for your business, get a new phone. And who doesn't want a new phone, right? So that's how I take my before and after pictures, is on portrait mode with my new iPhone. It's like the iPhone 11.
Yeah,
So-
or if you're sitting there making excuses like, I don't have a nice camera, I don't have a nice light, I can't do content yet because I don't have these things, you can always do content. You can always make it work. I think we all have a phone that has a camera on it. So.
Yes. And you can start off with the phone that you have now, but if you just want to upgrade, get better quality photos, get like the newest iPhones. Well, ladies, I think our time is coming to a close, and we're about to go do cocktail hour. I know I'm excited about that. I know you guys are excited too. But I wanted to thank you guys so much for being part of our social media panel and our audience and being such a great audience. If you guys have any more questions of like, hey, I don't know how to do this, or I have a question about anything aesthetic related or social media related, I know that these lovely ladies have a heart just like mine, and we really, really love to help, and we want to see our fellow estheticians succeed. So please reach out to us on Instagram and follow us on Instagram for some inspiration. So if we want to just, I totally forgot about it, y'all. You didn't save me. Was we are going to close with our favorite social media tip. So I will start with Miss Ashley.
Okay, so just really quickly, one tip that I have for social media, because I do get this question a lot, like, oh my gosh, Ashley, how'd you get so many followers? How do you get these likes and blah, blah, blah. So I would say what you put in is what you're going to get out. So if you like, you comment, you make your stories, you hashtag, you share things, you use all the Instagram stickers, all these things, you will get more people coming back to you, liking you, commenting, following. So what you put out is what you'll get back, is my tip.
So good. Jamisa?
Being consistent and showing up. Make sure you post, make sure you have content, and keep your clients engaged.
Yeah.
So good. Miracle?
My number one social media tip is definitely to show yourself, show your face, be yourself, and show why people can trust you. And show up consistently.
So good. And my final tip is be the expert. People want to go see an expert, so educate as much as you can. It will build your books. So, that being said, thank you so much, Hydrafacial, for having us, and happy birthday. We love you.
Yes.
And so let's go make
obsessed.
a toast to Hydrafacial. Let's party it up. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
You're good.
All right.